Pastor Galvin is a Christian pastor,
¿Cómo está, mijo?
and in 1995, he went through the downtown core and he picked people up and brought them out about 25 miles outside of Juarez into the desert and began building a shelter. And over the past 15 years has basically built that shelter up into a facility that houses about 100 people, sometimes more. And he has had pretty much no help from the Mexican state in terms of the upkeep and the building of this facility. He's relied primarily on private donations. Still, every day, he told us, he scrambles to find food for people. He doesn't know how he makes the amount of money in donations he needs every month to keep the place going. He is trying to appeal to anybody he can, basically, to find the kinds of medications, the kinds of psychotropic drugs that are needed by people who suffer from bipolar disease and from various psychoses. There were deeply mentally ill people there. There were people who were simply shattered by violence and had nowhere else to go. Some of them are kept behind bars, whether for their safety or for the safety of others when they have psychotic breaks and so on. At first it seems very harsh, and it's certainly not what we would imagine being acceptable. But the compassion with which people there treat each other and the compassion with which the pastor interacts with his congregation, this congregation he's chosen for himself, really actually override the harshness of the environment and the constraints of it. Not only is the shelter a sort of repository for the refuse of society that a place like Juarez and the economic systems and the political corruption and the impunity and the narco-violence that is all mixed in together there creates. It's also, in fact, a repository for the people that the entire Americas have decided are not worth tending to. Yo tengo una corona ya en el cielo. So not only a product of the dysfunction of Juarez, but also the product of dysfunctional policies throughout the Americas, particularly in the US, Canadian, Mexico triad.